Hello! We're back again. I know, you're so excited. You just can't control yourselves. We recently did a video about working for Mulberry, and I got Yes, we did. We got a lot of positive feedback from it. I'm going to do more in that series, if you like, delving in further. But we thought we'd just follow up, because we're in that kind of mood, about working at Bicester. And you've probably seen from the title, and that's why you're here. Quick background. Bethany Austin.
Hi.
We previously worked for companies such as Gucci, Mulberry, Christian Dior, Jimmy Choo, at various different places in various different towns, cities,
Areas.
shops. We now have a luxury pre-owned shop. This is the shop. We are standing in it.
Go and see our shop tour.
Yeah, we're going to do an updated one just before we open, because that's
Yes, we
really
will.
exciting. But for now, you're here. All our details are down below. Instagram's website, if you want to see what we sell. The channel focuses mainly on personal pickups, things we sell in store, hauls from what we get into store, hauls from our personal life, all things luxury. And then when the world opens, currently in lockdown, UK, then we're going to go places.
She's good, isn't she?
I just try and get it out quick so then we don't bore people.
Do it, yeah, I'm down.
Someone told me to get to the point the other day, and I was like, I don't know what the point is.
I have no point.
So working at Bicester, basically we both worked at different places within Bicester.
At the same time.
At the same time.
Where did you work?
I worked, and this is really interesting though. This is why I want to get into not depth about it, because it wasn't just about working there. Because now I'm going to scare you now. I worked for Gucci. I worked for Vivienne Westwood, but I also had interviews at Coach, Burberry, Salvatore Ferragamo, Tory Burch,
Missoni?
No. Nushka Diamonds.
Oh yeah.
Mont Blanc.
You say Burberry.
Burberry, yes, Burberry. Mont Blanc.
Pretty much, I would say like a quarter of anyone who's looking for anyone at that time.
I interviewed far and wide, because I wanted to find a company after Mulberry. I wanted to find a company that worked for me, as opposed to me literally working for them. Although that's the point. I wanted it to fit my morals and my
I think nowadays that's more important.
My skill set.
People's jobs are more of a lifestyle, as opposed whether it be friends or where you travel to work and all that. It's not just a job to get paid.
Yeah. So I interviewed for a lot of places. Hence this video, because we can tell you a bit about interview processing and things like that within the village. Because it's very different to any part of the world. You worked for
Jimmy Choo.
Christian Dior.
Yeah, Christian Dior also. So yeah, actually, that was a really funny one. I'll finish because that's a really quick one. Christian Dior.
Well, no, what I was going to do is talk about. Sorry, we don't actually discuss what we're going to do.
Why would we?
Here. No, but that makes it fun.
Yeah. Go on, then you go first.
I know. I was going to say about the actual the process of applying for a job in Bicester, because it's very different first.
Yes. Okay.
So basically, Bicester as a company have an online portal. So you sign up to the portal, etc. All the boutiques that have jobs going advertise their jobs on the portal.
Yep.
And then they go to other sites like Indeed Jobs, etc. like that. But all the jobs that are new and fresh go into the portal. Bicester Village job portal.
Now, just to clarify, anyone can go make an account on that portal, correct?
Any boutique in the.
No, any person, if they want a job at Bicester, they can sign up and be part of that portal.
Yeah, anyone can sign up.
If you want a job,
get alerts and things like that. Now, every single boutique though works as an entity, so they all have different interviewing processes and
totally different actually
processes. Yeah. But it all has to be done through Bicester as part of the village. Now, a very popular thing within the village is store hopping. So if you've established yourself, say, as a manager at Chloe, and a job comes up at Gucci for a manager, you can very seamlessly just sort of go into it. I mean, there isn't a short interview process, but because you've done your time at another Bicester boutique, the likelihood is you're going to get a position.
It's a big cosign, that's what you're saying.
And SAs do that as well. It's like
I would say
moving house.
I was going to say sales assistant level, with all due respect, even more so, because manager, they may have slightly different kind of skills from store to store. Yeah. But as regards an SA level, for sure, you could work within. I had friends in Jimmy Choo at the time I was there, had worked in 4 stores in the space of a year, like, and not being sacked, and just moved on, and
Yeah.
they do that a lot. Like it's just for fun
like
to find the right store.
Yeah, it's like a progression, but not a progression. I found working there village-wide generally that a lot of people were like what I call training professionals. So like we're doing like law degrees or
or doctors or something.
Yeah, we're at uni. They needed a top up, but they're good money, intelligent. Like,
and maybe they wanted a cheap briefcase out of it or something, or some clothes, you know,
Or there were a few. It wasn't really local people. The majority was Londoners, Birmingham, because they had the train station. So it's an hour or half an hour on the train in any direction. For us, we were commuting from here, so it was 2.5 hours each way every day.
And when you say it like that, so that's like 5 hours in the car at that point, every day. We have obviously a little one, and she was very little at the time, and we had good childcare, thank goodness. But honestly, thinking back now, like, I don't know how we did it. Some days, obviously, we'd be on sometimes separate shifts also. So just to quickly say, if Bethany was kind of starting at 12 o'clock, like midday, and would finish maybe, I don't know, with breaks 8 or 9 in the evening, I would kind of hang around or chill out in the car or whatever, wait to go home. We'd get home for like, 12, something like that. Have something to eat probably, go to sleep, and then wake up probably sometimes 3 in the morning, 3 hours later, to get up for 6 and be there for 9.
In the car. Like, we had different
we hustled like the whole time.
Top
it was a hustle.
If you go to Bicester, try and get the back car park in the corner. Great sleeping spot.
Yeah,
really
everyone
dark.
just leaves you alone, and it's just dark.
But that's what we did. It was a hustle. I was tired.
And it was basically, it was sorry, but it was basically just so before we go into all these different kind of facets of getting a job there, it was because we both worked for Mulberry, we're massively into luxury, and just wanted to evolve not only our careers but also see how different companies worked and what they had to.
Well, at the time, our career goals was progression within high-end luxury companies, like,
even possibly to like a Chanel, a Hermes, someone like that,
Yeah, like
at the time I'm talking about.
But like within the company, buyers, merchandisers, etc. It wasn't just like SA level.
No,
it was.
In actual fact, the opposite.
But I found a lot of people in Bicester weren't career essays, if that makes sense. They weren't looking for progression in the company. They were just looking for a job with great benefits.
I was just going to say benefits and a commission. That would be it.
Yeah. So the best thing about Bicester, obviously every single boutique has their own package of care or benefits, bonuses, perks.
Every company,
But the best thing about Bicester is obviously all the boutiques, apart from maybe like your Cath Kidston's and your high street stores, work on commission basis. So the store in general would have a store commission, so that everyone would get
a chunk
up. Personal commission, so based on how much you sold. So if you
performance based,
if you didn't sell anything that week, then you would get a bit of the store commission, but you wouldn't get any personal commission. And then a basic salary. Now the basic salary was I found from doing all the interview processes was very, very generous. In comparison to what I previously said in the Mulberry video. Mulberry was bare minimum wage. These were companies were paying like starter salaries for an SA working full-time was about on the low side, like I'm talking like Coach and Tory Burch, was about 20 to 22,000 a year, which is more than minimum wage, obviously. But then you add your bonuses in, so you add your store commission, you add your personal commission, you're looking at more like 25, 26, depending on how much you push yourself.
And like you say,
that's basic.
That's basic. And depending on, and when you say basic, people could say, well, no, it's not basic, it's commission. I'm talking about, you could stand there and someone would say, I need these shoes, boom, that's your commission. Like, if you worked hard, you make more commission, simple, it's obvious.
And Bicester's very busy, so you're always going to sell something.
Yes.
Even when you're new, you're just thrown into it. Like, there's
I would say if you're physically on the shop floor, there's no way you cannot make sales. If you've ever been to Bicester, even on a quiet day, people are buying in every single store, even the cafes or restaurants, people buy constantly. So there's just no way you couldn't make good commission.
A little thing they do in Bicester, and I find that when talking to you, that it was definitely a thing, is that they give code names to different types of customers. So, for example,
domestics?
People that live in the UK are domestics. And they would generally, we would generally advise not to
spend too much time with
domestics. We will go more into that, into the individual shops and how the individual shops worked and which ones were like worse and things. But I believe it didn't fit my morals. I believe everyone should be treated the same. That's why we do the channel. Everyone should be entitled to shop luxury, whether you're buying a key ring or a £25,000 case. That's
also, I think, as it's turned out, like you just said, in a lot of ways, that's why what we do what we do now. Because I do feel, don't get me wrong, if I were to say that every time someone said that to me, I would think, oh, how terrible. Like, life is life. I'm not for it. I'm just saying in general. You know, you crack, with all due respect, you got a job, so you do it. However, as time went on, you realised how kind of deep that went. It was so obvious that you were pushed to a certain kind of customer. It was based on finance. With all due respect, it wasn't necessarily colour or race or sex. It was just based on what they could see. Now, from being in luxury this long, we realised that that's not really how it works. But to blanket it like that was a terrible situation.
I actually found it as well more of a Bicester thing.
Yes,
like, it's not. I'm not saying a cult. But like a Bicester, like
it was 100%. It was
a click of Bicester shops
for sure. Yeah. Because I actually know that when I went for a few times, I was based in a smaller store generally when I was in Mulberry, but I went to Bicester to do a few different different things, courses, visual merchandising, and that kind of stuff. And on the shop floor, their ethos was so different to what we had where we were, where I was kind of regularly. That wasn't the Mulberry vibe. What I'm saying is that was the same store technically, same product, but it was a totally different vibe, and that was the Bicester vibe.
Yeah. So going back to like interview processes and things, because I had so many of them. Each store does a different process. Gucci basically asked me to drive to Birmingham for an interview process.
Yeah, that was wild.
But I guess it was part of the like dedication.
Do you want it? Yeah.
And then with like Tory Burch, Vivienne Westwood, Salvatore, and Coach, it was all in store or like in a local restaurant. Anushka took me for Anushka Diamonds, which is opposite Jimmy Choo. They took me for lunch in the farmhouse.
I remember that.
They had a really good benefits package. If you could ever bag a job at Anushka, their starting wage is $22,000 without commission. But they.
And this is once again, this is a few years ago. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
this is quoted from a few years ago.
Within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of perks, like if you were like top performer, you would get like
they had like holidays and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, they paid for one of the essays to go to London when he never been to London with his family, his whole family, his children, his missus. They paid for the hotel. They took him to the theatre, and this was a perk of the job. So there are a lot of perks to working for these big companies. But going back to Bicester, the interview process is very easy. I still get offers for interviews. Burberry offered me a job without an interview. The other day.
Because obviously once you're on there with your email, unless you like I guess you're going to subscribe, but it's one of those things from Bicester, and it's one of those things you just get through the mail. And you've had like even recently, I think more so because of if you're in their eyes you're there that long. But they still think, technically they think you're maybe with
someone else, like another company.
They like to keep it in house, as I say.
So that was that basically, and then you do all your interviewing and hiring process through the individual boutiques. Bicester are out of it then.
Yep.
Bicester themselves give you a Bicester employees card. Obviously, most of the time you'll go when the shops are closed, which is really cool when it's all quiet and lovely. They offer so many perks, like the Pret a Manger. They offer you free coffee a day.
Yep.
1 free coffee a day.
You get a discount on your lunch as well, don't you?
You get a discount on your lunch. There's a blanket 10% off on all boutiques if you're a employee with your card. So
no matter what store, no matter what sale, and what I would say, we tried this a few times. So if you go into, for example, Ralph Lauren's a good example, where they have stuff which is like really, really stupidly discounted, last chance, can you buy something maybe £90 down to like 15, you would get 10% off that. No matter how low the end cost was, you'd still get you for the 10%, which was really good. It wasn't kind of what I'm saying. It wasn't subject to X or Y or Z.
And then your store, depending on what group it was part of. So, for example, Gucci is part of Kering. They're owned by Kering. Kering also owns shares in Stella McCartney, Alexander McQueen,
Balenciaga.
Get back to you on that one. And you got an extra discount in those shops.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm going to go into it, I'm going to do a Gucci video. I got 50% off of full price and 30% off of outlet. And that was in Stella McCartney. That was in Alexander McQueen. That was a blanket discount. It wasn't just for Gucci. And obviously Jimmy Choo would be the.
It was the same. 50% full price. Obviously, you're not in a full price store. In Bicester, it's an outlet. You have 30% on top of. Once again, though, that's on top of savings. So if you've got something which is reduced by 70%, and then you get your 30%, it ends up. Oh, that would be 100%. But you take my point. Yeah, it's very cheap.
And then there's additional perks of being working for the companies, like allowances and stuff. Which we will do in separate videos about the different companies within Bicester. Another really good thing that Bicester did though for employees is every now and then they would have like a fun day. So I wasn't part of it because I was working.
Oh, and I was.
But you had lunch at the right time. I didn't. I was just on the shift. And they set up like a party in there's a green space over the road from the car park.
If you ever visit Bicester, because it sounds really random and it took ages for us to find it, but it was so easy. If you ever visit Bicester, you drive in, on the left hand side you have the bushes, now they're kind of flattened out. If you go through those bushes, at one point there's a few different kind of chinks you go through, and there's a massive playing fields. That's where they were.
And they had free food, free burgers, fast food, all day, music, goodie bags for like the first 100 people.
A few times, like you say, it was kind of fun days specifically for your employees. You show your employee card, get whatever. But on top of that, what they used to do as well is if they had, for example, someone they were, some of the food is more so it applied to. If they were going to have a particular burger kind of a kiosk, if you will, new to the village, they would try it out on all the members. So they would come the week before, or 2 weeks before, or a month before to see what everyone thought. We would all kind of say yes, it was good, yes, it was bad, and you could go up 25 times. We were guinea pigs. And I've got to say, there were a couple of burger places which never arrived in there I was very sad at because they did good stuff.
I never tried any.
Oh, so good.
There was like little perks like that, and then they would have like you could get discount in the restaurants, all the restaurants.
For sure.
And then they have little like things that would just be like extra 20% off Ralph Lauren or something like for staff. Like it was very good. I have to say the hardest working people though in the whole of Bicester are the people in the red capes that hand out the maps. They have to be happy all the time. And
you know what? I still defy anyone. And probably someone probably say, I've seen one. I equate them to the Disney, what are they called in Disney? The cast members. They're literally like cast members. They're smiley. They're always happy to help. They'll give you an anorak if it's raining, if they can. Like they're very good, aren't they?
They do lots
People
of
don't realise the kind of service they give.
Like when they reopened last lockdown, they giving out flowers. Like there's lots of fun little like freebies and like nice things that they do at Bicester. I have to say, it's American owned.
You can tell that too.
It's just happy. It's like Disneyland but for designer shopping. And there's a lot of different services as well, which people I don't think are aware of and people don't use as much as they should.
Good point.
Valeting, although you have to pay to park.
Valet Parking,
although you have to pay to park, you get priority parking spaces, and it's so much easier. Like they drive your car for you and blah blah blah. It's much more convenient if you're looking for a quick
in and out,
easy thing, and they're never full because no one wants to pay for
No, it's true, which is
when
fine.
It's free. Another thing they do is like they keep your shopping for you, and you can they put it in the concierge office. You can pick it up at the end of the day. They offer personal shopping services.
They'll also ship it to you.
Yeah, they ship it to you. They have like a special suite for personal shopping. There's a train that goes right into the middle of Bicester Village. So if you're going from London or Birmingham or whatever, then that's really convenient. We're going to go on April the 12th and do a full tour for you, as well as if we buy anything, we'll do a haul on opening day to show you crowd levels. We went last time after lockdown, it was hideous.
Was it we went the first day, sorry, we went the first day last time, didn't we?
It made me like feel like...
And we went then in between, kind of, as you saw from our last video, kind of, not just before Christmas, but December it was, wasn't it?
The second time, yeah, and that
which was obviously social distance, masks and all that kind of stuff, and they really upped their game. So I'm excited, if I'm honest, to see how the first day does, where they've got this kind of knowledge now of how they know people are working, the digital cues and all that kind of stuff,
There were so many complaints, like Louis Vuitton was just cramped.
There was like fights and stuff, well not, there weren't fights, but like people were getting nasty outside, no?
So basically wrapping it up and things like that, because it's a very simple process. They have a portal, you can enter your details in. The companies then can either contact you if they have a job opening and you fit their criteria, or you can apply for as many as you want off of that site and they'll contact you individually.
I would say just very quickly as a guide, I joined the portal. I emailed like 3 or 4 different.
You got a job like instantly.
I emailed 3 or 4 different people. I also, to say the difference as well at the time, I don't get into it for maybe 6 months, but I had a management role, should we say, in Mulberry. So once again, if you have any kind of management experience they can call on and obviously clarify, reference, you've had that, which I had, they'll throw it regular sales job at you, if you will. So I had.
You're overqualified.
Well, technically yes. But once again, Bicester very different. I went in for an interview. They called me. They saw my address, obviously living 2.5 hours away. Said, "Are you actually quite serious with the job?" I said, "Yeah, I am. No problem." Went in, had my interview, did what I had to do. Wasn't a particularly hard interview process. I'm not going to go through interviews because everyone's different. Every personality is different, and every person you deal with is different. Every company is different. Did what I had to. About 2 days later, got a phone call. Yes, come back.
You started straight away, right?
And then can you start? Once again, Jimmy Choo, given uniform, given Jimmy Choo shoes, pick my own shoes.
You're going to discuss that in another video, aren't you, Austin?
I am indeed.
That's cute.
I just want to give a quick how it works, bullet points.
Gucci, it was a 3-month interview process, so that's
so
why I
interviewed
for other brands at the same time, because
you wanted a job. Realistically, you wanted a job too. That was the point of it.
It took so long.
Yeah.
Which I'll go through again, but that's why I interviewed at so many other places.
But what I'm trying to say is, sorry, and you will do a whole video. We'll do a whole video on those things. But I was just saying that the reason I went through mine, it was literally those points, whereas yours, it was so many more stages, which once again you'll do a video on. I wanted to point out that Bicester can be really easy, or depending on the company, really, really hard and long-winded to get a job.
It's company dependent, it's not Bicester dependent.
Yes.
But the perks of working for Bicester, additionally to the company, that's what we wanted to talk about. It's actually really good. And there are loads of like really quiet spots as well. You can go and eat your lunch quietly without the customers and stuff. Oh, secret doors.
I was just going to say.
Doors. There's so many secret doors in Bicester.
Disney again. It's Disney, isn't it?
If as a consumer, if you find a secret door in Bicester, comment down below.
Take a picture and at us on Instagram or on a story.
Yeah, we'll start a thread, secret doors of Bicester.
Yeah.
Because there's so many secret doors. I remember I was waiting to get into Gucci once, quick story, and then we'll wrap it up. I was waiting to get into Gucci once, and I was like, why is no one letting me in? I was like my third shift. And they had to go at me. They said, why are you late? And I was like, well, the shop wasn't open. I was waiting outside. And they were like, there's a door there. And I'm like, that's not a door. That's a wall.
Yeah, honestly. Some of them are really obvious. They've got keypads and so on.
But
some of them are totally not.
And there's secret warehouses behind the shops. Like it is like mind.
What you see of Bicester from a consumer point of view, a regular kind of retail point of view, is probably only half of what actually goes on behind the scenes.
Disneyland.
And it is very much like Disneyland.
In Disneyland, they have underground tunnels.
It's true.
To like get all the like merchandise.
Go and watch one of those videos. They're really fun, by the way.
It's exactly the same.
It's so true. I didn't think of it that way, but it is, because you can, for example, deliveries. You never ever see a delivery going through the front door of any store. How? Why? How'd that happen?
Spooky.
Think about that. And it's not like, it happens at midnight. No, they're locked. The gates are locked. You can't get in the front doors.
Yeah, it's secret.
Yeah.
It is though. It's like Disneyland, but for designer goods, which is so unfair.
It's something you don't think about till you get there. And you're like, but like you said, waiting at the front door, guys, you're not open yet. And there's customers outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrap it up. Working for actual Bicester Village was a great experience, I think, personally. Mine is our commute. It works for different people, as in your circumstances.
Yep.
If you're looking to get a job, I would recommend living near. It's just easier. But if you want to know anything else, then do message us or blah, blah, blah. And we will do individual videos about individual shops.
Because there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot. In Gucci especially, with so many levels of information that I'll do a Gucci video.
Yeah, and to be fair, the store itself is massive. But Jimmy
Choo, just for your allowance info, is worth a watch.
Yeah, please do. We'll definitely do it and watch. Just quickly as well, you said about Bicester.
Yeah.
One thing I find which is really funny as well, maybe not in larger stores like Gucci or Prada or something like that, but Jimmy Choo, we used to get constant kind of feedback, good and bad, don't get me wrong, from there was a lady, I won't name her, but who was basically the head of VM for Bicester.
Head honcho.
And she would, head honcho, that's going to be a t-shirt, but she would come and say, guys, that those with that, no. And we would say, well, that's what we've been told by headquarters Jimmy Choo, that's full price, that's what we're doing right now, blah, blah, blah. Not in Bicester, no. And that would be it. It'd be like, nope, okay, no problem, change it.
We'll also talk about like rents and stuff like that because there's a in-depth rent. They pay rent and they also pay a portion of sales,
commission.
etc.
It's basically commission, yeah.
Yeah, commission to Bicester.
It's very interesting. It's not just a kind of I rent a shop at Bicester, is it?
So look out for Gucci. I might do a little Vivian one as well because I work for Vivian very shortly and I was very happy because I really, really, really adore Vivian as a being. But the experience,
and it totally changed your mind.
I don't even like shopping in out. I wouldn't shop in outlet.
Let's just say, watch the video to see more. But the ethos is very different.
Let's stop talking.
Let's go.
Bicester Village, working for Bicester Village, at Bicester Village, Bicester Village.
Any other questions? Bicester Village or in Bicester Village or for
down
Bicester
below.
Village?